Hello folks, and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. My name is Master Torch, and this is my first series on YouTube ever. So, we're gonna go to Duna or Bust, and in this series we will discover if there are any resources and stuff going on. We will send Kerbal and satellites and whatever. So, starting off, I did the first episode I did on my stream. So this is a little bit review what I did. So first of all, we will send some probes, and as you can see, we have prudential fairings as a mod. And down this fairings, we got five probes. The first one is a lander on top. You see is a little bit of scientific instruments, so this thing can land and check out landing sites. Down here we got 4 satellites, 2 Cathene scanner, 1 for Ike, 1 for Duna, and 2 communication satellites on top on the deliverer. So this is the interplanetary stage you see there with 2 nuclear engines. And yeah, I think that would work well. So down there we have the lifter. The lifter is, yeah, it's a plain lifter, asparagus style, and I think it's at about roughly 4,500 delta V meters per second. So this should bring us up, but not in orbit at all. So we can ditch the lifter, and so that's there's no scrap. You have in the atmosphere of Kerbal, right? So let's see and bring this thing up. So liftoff, successful liftoff. That's good to hear, huh? As you can see, we are a little bit off center, and I think the problem is, as you can see, one of the 4 quite an not common angle attached satellites inside the fairing is the controlling probe. So I switched to the lander because he's on top of everything to set him in control. So now we are moving slight easy up, and it's looking quite centered. As you can see, we are going up, and probably we shoot a little bit, but it's not too bad. The alignment of the planets, it's like, you know, like Kerbal is on the 3 position of the clock, and Duna on 1 hour position. So we should be in fuel efficient transit. Should be there possible. Now we are bringing us in parking orbit, as you can see, and now something weird happened. As you can see, I have 1 ASS system on board, the big one, and I did this because the 4 reaction wheel systems, or 5 reaction wheel systems of the probe cores weren't enough. So but when I boost the last bit of it, as you can see now, the rocket spin out of control. So with a little bit of thrust, it's possible to control this thing, but probably the big one not help a lot. The little explosion that you see there is nothing bad happened there. It's just that the decoupler just moved again against the fuel tank. So the engines are okay. We can continue our mission, as I'm looking for a sweet encounter with Duna. Lots of tweaking going on here, and we're moving outside of our solar system, so it should be an easy transfer, fuel efficient. Okay, a little more tweaking. There should be also an mid-course correction going on, but first of all we are looking for our encounter here, and lost the point almost, and sweet we have it, our encounter, about 1,100 meters per second delta V necessary to get to Duna. I think it's 950 for leaving the sphere of influence of Kerbal, and another 150 to get to Duna, and then we need to do the insection. But now we're doing the burn, and as I said, after this we have to plan our mid-course correction to bring us the periaps nearer to Duna, because when you do it on half of the way to Duna, it's much more fuel efficient as when you do it when you are next to Duna. That's not possible at least. And the nearer you are to Duna when you're arriving, the less fuel you will need to get caught by Duna. So this is our midterm correction. Yeah, as you see, I bring down the periaps. Nice fact to know: if you clicking on the periaps, then it will show you the current values instead of just mouse over every time you tweak the maneuver node. And then we are off, waiting for our midtime burn, which is coming now. As you can see, also I unfolded one of the solar panels. Yeah, also let's talk about the mods we're using. We have TAC live support going on here. Haven't tried it yet, so I'm curious to see what it is all about. Our Kerbal, they will need water, food, and oxygen. And what else we need? Remote control. Remote control. Yeah, one fact, it's just in progress, I think, work in progress, because Remote Control 2 is open for playtesting, and Remote Control 1 is deleting the new reactor wheel system. And this is a little bit sad, so I left it out. But maybe we bring it in. So the two communication satellites on board this ship, they are our little, what you could say to it, our little insurance if you bring it in. So we are arriving at Duna and setting for an polar orbit, as you can see. Polar orbit because of the Cathene scanner. We want to have the planet spinning beneath us when we are going over it and over it again, so that we are scanning the whole planet. And the communication satellites, we want to bring them in a normal angle orbit. So what we do is first we do the insection here for Duna in a polar orbit. Then we are moving to Ike in an almost polar orbit, bring it back to polar, set out the second Cathene detector for Ike, and then bring the whole spacecraft to a normal angle around the spin axis of the planet. And then we will set out the communication satellites. I think the lander, the good thing to do is to bring the lander also in a polar orbit, because then you have the full control of landing sites where you want to go, right? So you have to just wait for a few hours spinning, and then you can choose your landing site, because that's more fuel efficient, right? When you do it in a normal orbit, angle orbit, you have to go round and round, and when you want to land more south or north, you have to use fuel for it. But I think I will show you this in the next episode when we actually land at Duna. So what we do is going to our periaps, bring up the apoaps, nearly to collision course, just to ditch the fairings on the planet. So waiting for a burn, waiting for periapse, and then there's a burn. Bringing down the periapse, and then it's time for ditching our fairings. I'm using Kerbal Engineer Redux for the whole setting. I don't like a MacJab because of the autopilot thing. I like to fly everything manually. So, but I think a good thing is to know how much delta V do you got on your rockets, so that you can plan missions and stuff. So we ditched the fairings, preparing to set out our little lander. Here, as you can see, they got all the small new Recomax engines. They are really small, and I like them a lot because you know, when you're stacking satellites like this under a fairing, you need space, and these little tiny engines, they are pretty neat. So releasing our first detector and bringing to work, and I'm aiming here for 200 orbit, so circularized 200k orbit. For doing our detection work. One thing you have to keep in mind when you're setting out cathene scanners on the dark side. The scanner needs energy on the dark side. It can maybe run out of energy, and that's it's maybe a little bit annoying because you have only half of the planet scanned in the time you maybe scanned all the planet. Going around looking for an encounter with Ike, but Ike, it's probably not the best to do right now, so we have to wait for it for spinning in the right position. So what we do now is just scanning on 4x speed the surface of Duna, and when Ike is in position, we will do a little transit burn to Ike and set out the satellite on Ike. As you can see, I'm trying, but it's not working. On the backside, no, there's no way. We have to wait. Yes, yes. Mods. We also have cars. Kerbal attachment systems installed, just for bringing maybe base to Duna or something like this. So for the next missions, next thing will be a manned mission, but only a short one. So fly to Duna, go down, take a sample of cathene with a little rover buggy with a drill on it, and transfer this to our lander. Bring the lander up again, command module will dock with the lander, transfer the cathene to the command module, and then moving back to Kerbal. And then we will think maybe we will bring a little station into Kerbal orbit where we can test the cathene, and the next step of the mission would be a permanent mining outpost, but this is quite an engagement, so maybe we have to bring a station for Duna for a little bit of safety issues, because you know we have to do the whole supply things of oxygen because of the tech life support systems. Don't want to kill our carbonauts, so we'll see. So Ike is moving. As you can see, I'm only warping 4 times because else you will have gaps, scanning gaps of the cathene detector, because the system is too slow to calculate the scanning process, and spacecraft moving too fast. But it seems to work well, as you can see. Little lines on the planet, night, sweet, neat lines showing up. And we already found cathene, as you can see on the green dots. And I forget to bring the communication online. That would be a cruel mistake if we had remote control, because these antennas, when they are not deployed, they have only 2 kilometers of range, and I think deployed about 9 kilometers. No, so that's megameters. Yeah, Ike is finally in a good position to do a little transfer. Maybe we could do this a little bit earlier, but nah, I don't like to wait another round. So we will bring us into position for the next burn to Ike. As you can see, it's not so much delta V needed for this transition, but we have to keep in mind we also need to get caught, so we have to slow down when we're near Ike. Another meters per second necessary for this, but as you can see, if you're patient, and when we're deploying our satellites, I think one satellite weighs about 1 ton, our delta V will rise again, just because there is less mass that we have to carry. So that's pretty sweet. There's Ike, and we are in the sphere of influence of Ike now, and now we're trying to get caught and to bring us again into a polar orbit. It's probably possible to get the nice same orbit you have on Duna, but then you have to burn just in the right spot and the right time, and I messed it up. Okay, warping forward for the burn. Bum, bum, bum. There we are. Ready for burn. 3, 2, 1. Go. Delta V is moving down. That's okay. As you can see, we have 2 nuclear engines on this delivery spacecraft. I think maybe because of the mass of the manned spacecraft, we have to apply at least attach 3 of the nuclear engines to don't have too long burns, but that's okay. Renaming it to Ike detection and let it go. One thing is, cathene will not automatically scan the planet when the vessel is not active. So when you want to have the whole planet scanned, I recommend to let it sit and do it work at 4 times warp for an hour or 2, and then you will have your sweet spots of cathene visible. We adjusted the maneuver node for our burn to bring us in an sweet alignment position around Ike. So we can set out our communication satellite for Ike, and then we have to do another transfer burn to Duna, and at Duna we have to ditch the delivery spacecraft to the planet's surface. And as you can see, the maneuver node, we are leaving Ike from behind. so that we have a nice kind of circularized orbit near Duna, near Periaps. Maybe there are better ways to do. Leave me a comment if you know. So waiting for the burn. Yeah, as I told you, this delivery spacecraft that don't have the interplanetary stage, don't have a probe core. I think it's not necessary because for centered control we have the lander when we are lifting up the spacecraft, launching the spacecraft, and it's just costing, you know, and I know it's not necessary to keep the costs down, but career mode will come soon. But the next update, 0.22, there's no money in it still, but the research points, and I'm very excited to get to do more research on planets like Duna or moons like Ike or going to Eve or something like that, and for doing these scientific missions, you will get rewarded, but with science points, and you can spend them on the tech tree to get better propulsion systems. Yeah, as you can see now, we're set a maneuver node to ditch the deliveries spacecraft. What we do now, get ready to set out the last communication satellite. And one thing I think it was weird was when I left with the last controlling probe core, the camera stays with the old vessel. You know, there's no core on it, so it's kind of weird that I have to click on the probe core and set it on control from here to get it as the controlled vessel after decent. So bring in decoupling. Bring in this one down now, and that's it for this episode. Then, with the big crash, we are closing this episode. Bam. So we deployed successful these 5 satellites, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.